to make sense of what is going on there. So I'll be speaking with the constitutional lawyer, Malaki Ugomadu. So if you look at the what came out of the court yesterday, Justice Liman set aside the steps taken by the state government, but did not nullify the law itself. Can you help us elaborate on the legal distinction and its implications?
I'm glad you used the expression "knocky issues." This whole thing, to a large extent, is becoming very convoluted, even for legal practitioners, legal minds, no less ordinary Nigerians. But I need to put a caveat, almost in limine, which is that this whole matter is not done yet as we speak. There is a live appeal of this matter, and being a senior lawyer myself, I'm going to be very circumspect to refrain from what may likely be a personal opinion in respect to the life issues in court. That is what we are enjoined to do by the rules of our professional ethics. Having said that, it is that what is playing out in Kano, particularly taking a cue from the clips you just played, it has come out largely as a contest. And unfortunately, the stool of the Emir of Kano, which is one of the frontline, high-ranking, traditional leadership in Nigeria, has become the pawn. Almost a victim of political contest. And that takes me back to the provenance of this whole thing. The Ganduje administration, effectively in 2019, was able to pass the Kano Emirate Council law, by which it literally decimated, balkanized the hitherto unified central Kano Emirate and created sub-units, up to 4 or 5 of them, leading to the removal of Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi. And we knew what happened thereafter, was banished, contested it. And once there was a change of guard, the House of Assembly, Kano State House of Assembly, passed a law which became the Repeal Law 2024. Yeah. On that particular incident, it sought to unify back the same emirate to
so
become
to the old
the status quo. And once that was done, it paved the way for the reappointment, if you like, return of Lamide Sanusi, who was installed almost instantaneously. Now, that led to a couple of legal actions, disputing what has happened, the validity and competence of the action itself, and then the the Attorney General, which is the state effectively, through the Attorney General of Kano State, contested the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court to deal with issues relating to chieftaincy matters. And while that was on, they also sought for a stay, then leading up, the stay was granted, leading up to the appeal that is now sought on the issue of the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court to deal with chieftaincy matter. But here is the point. On the 23rd of May, 2024, that was the day that Sanusi Lamido was reinstated or appointed, whichever way you want to put it. On the 4 days later, which is the 27th of the same May, month of May, there was an order, an interim order, pursuant to the suit I talked about, ordering that status quo should remain.
Should remain, yeah.
So the knocking issue now, status quo should remain pending the determination of the matter.
Yeah.
The issue now is, what is the status quo?
That was the question I was going to ask.
Please, don't ask me that question because that will lead me into what may be life issues at the Court of Appeal. And I have admonished that I'm going to be very circumspect and refrain from that. Our practice and the rules of our ethics forbids us from doing that. Speaking generally, I go back to my preliminary statement that, and it appears that the actors are digging in so forcefully in a way that suggests that at the end of the day, what will emerge clearly as the casualty in this situation is the stool itself.
That's right.
Is the institution of the tradition. Think about it. Nigeria has not always been a democracy in the sense of the parameters of a democratic society as we know it today. We have always had a way of organizing ourselves around or through institutions of traditional institutions all across the continent of Africa. And it was very prominent, pronounced, and profound in recognized territories. Let me put it that way. The Kano emirate is one of them. The Uni of Ife, the Oba of Benin, the Wole of Onitsha, high class, first class, high profile traditional institutions. How then did we come to that point where you could sit down there? I can conveniently predict that once the pendulum swings politically, you are likely going to have the incumbent traditional ruler shown the way out. How the other traditional institutions in their respective states have managed to avoid it should be the lesson of Kano State. Kano is a very metropolitan society.
And it has historical, antecedents.
Very rich historical antecedent with some degree, if you like, high degree of political sophistication and some radical bent towards, towards organizing themselves. I hope, I do believe that is partly what is playing out, because in these other places where we talk about, you could see the nature of the people who are pliant, disposed to comply, and almost obsequiously led. Now, my worry